protection when I feel that I've been wronged. It makes me strong. I'm trying to make a living, so I'll give them all I got and I'll work real hard. But I'm never gonna give in when it comes to corporate greed. I'm on my guard. I've got my card. Says I'm union and I stand, and no company's demand will make me fall, and I will not crawl. Cause the union is the key to make working people free, and I won't back down and lose my grounds. I'm living in a country where everybody's got the right to choose. So if you're gonna tell me that what I think don't count, then heed the news. I paid my dues. Cause I'm union and I'm proud, and my membership talks loud where I'm concerned. I won't get burned. Cause the union is my shield, my protection when I feel that I've been wronged. It makes me strong. My father before me was a labor man, and he walked the picket line. For all that he gave me, I won't give back, and if I must, then I want mine. It comes my time. Cause I'm union and I'm proud, and my membership talks loud where I'm concerned. I won't get burned. Cause the union is my shield, my protection when I feel that I've been wronged. It makes me strong. It makes me strong. It makes me strong.
When the union's inspiration through the workers' blood shall run, there can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? But the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. Now they have taken untold millions they never toiled to earn, but without our brain and muscle not a single wheel could turn. We can break their haughty power, gain our freedom when we learn that the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. And in our hands is placed a power greater than their hoarded gold, greater than the might of armies, magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new world from the ashes of the old. For the union.
Randy Bolton.
I'm proud to. Well, I'm up here to talk about Jerry, but I should recognize our speaker tonight, Mr. Harkin, Senator Harkin, always our senator. we've had a few strikes in our day at Local 164, which was the Armstrong plant, and Earl Seymour and Maggie, your cousin. And then we've had a few over at 310. I don't know why we're kind of more strikes than the most, I guess. But what always impressed me about Senator Harkin is on a Saturday, we'd go in and check on a strike without any entourage, without any cameras around. Senator Harkin would be walking around the union halls talking to the guys. Remember those days? Oh, yeah. So it's always a privilege to have Senator Harkin as our U.S. Senator, because he was there for everybody, not for all the fanfare, would stop in, whether it was at Local 310 or 164, he just stopped by to encourage the guys. And we always appreciated that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Now on to Jerry Kearns. I first met Jerry in 1975 down at an international convention down in Bal Harbour, Florida. And we were both out of our local unions and delegates to the convention. And then a couple years later, I went on the staff, and I ended up going down to Keokuk, Iowa, when we got a little ticked off at Mr. Carter, President Carter at the time, and the very bills that you were talking about. He didn't lift a finger to help labor when we thought we were going to get labor law reform. And so we decided to back Ted Kennedy. And so Jerry was responsible for that down in Keokuk, and I stopped in for it because there was a big rally for him, and I think the town of Keokuk went fivefold that day because everybody wanted to see a Kennedy at that time. But anyway, I won't talk too long here, but in the early 80s, I became a service rep with the URW, and one of those areas I went to was Local 444 in Keokuk, Iowa. Jerry was the president, and I learned real quick. Jerry had said, well, I'm out at the plant, just stop at the house and I'll be right there. And of those that you know Jerry, when he says he's going to be right there, and just leaving the plant, that gave me plenty of opportunity to meet Diane's mother, spend some time and coffee with her, get to know the boys, get them sent off to school, still waiting on Jerry to show up. One more person to talk to, he said, and I'll be right there. But anyway, Jerry was very thorough with his members, always took time to talk, and that's usually why you run late. So you can't really fault him for that, but sometimes, Jerry. And it didn't matter what he was doing, arbitration. Jerry, we got to present this tomorrow. I just got 2 more people to talk to, and I'll be right there. But anyway, if you know him, that's what always happened. But there was one little tradition that I run into when I was down there, and Jerry told me that, for the Salvation Army, we go ring the bell. Now, this was the early 80s, Jerry, back when we used to go. The tradition was you went from bar to bar on a Friday night, ringing the bells, and we filled those buckets at those bars on a Friday night. But what Jerry didn't tell me, there's a lot of bars in Keokuk, Iowa. And when we would show up, it was Jerry and Mike Inman and I. They gave you a beer every bar you went to. And then the first 3 bars aren't too bad. The 7th, the 8th, the 10th, the 12th. And there's a lot of bars in Keokuk, Iowa. But we had full buckets when we got back to the Labor Temple, and so it was a good night, but you were very elaborated, I guess is the best word for this to say. But so that was a tradition Jerry had, and he still rings the bell to this day. Jerry's always been a giving person, whether it be to his local, whether it's helping the Salvation Army, anybody that needs a helping hand, Jerry does that on his own. And I was so impressed with Jerry that I recommended him for a staff position. And Jerry said, I'd love to do that, but the boys were still in school. He did not, thought he said it just wouldn't be right to do that, to take and be on the road, because I already do all this work around there in Keokuk and so on, and to be on the road just wouldn't be the right thing to do at this time. So I give him a lot of heck for not taking it, and so did some other people, but that was what was best for Jerry. So about 8 years later, whatever it would be, but I asked Jerry again, and asked my bosses to hire him, and they did. And Jerry, from that point on, did one heck of a job for our members and has been one of the best staff people we could ever have. But Jerry didn't just do stuff for our members. He always was doing something else for other people, whether it be the Democratic Party, helping to get Senator Harkin elected again, whoever was our Democratic person we needed to do, and Jerry got his local involved in many things. He really was a leader to set up the offices, get the people out, always could find the volunteers. If he couldn't find him, he did it and made Diane go with him. But anyway, he's done those things all on his own, just the kind of guy he is. And everything he did, he always did the best job you could ever ask of anybody to do. And whether it was being a county supervisor, he backed the unions, and anything that had to do with working people to make things fair. And then he went on to be as local union president. I think he tried to represent everybody in that plant. And God bless Jerry. He is one of those guys that's got the patience of Job, as they say. I'm a little more hot-headed, and I can't listen as long as Jerry can. But Jerry could sit there and listen and listen and listen. I said, oh, just tell him no. But not Jerry. He would just go ahead. So very proud of him for doing those kind of things, and did our members well by doing that. But whether it was Jerry was making a commitment to his local union, as president of his local, as a state representative, as a county supervisor, we were very fortunate to have somebody like Jerry that could be there for everybody and make sure that everybody was represented, even those that weren't as privileged as the others. The steelworkers, from Leo Gerard, Director Emo Ramirez is here, Assistant Director John Revovich, and all the other members that showed up out here tonight in honor of Jerry. We thank you for all that you have done, and we're very humbled by the great service you did for all of us. And thank you, Jerry Kearns. Now, I didn't tell any of those other stories I told you about, Jerry. But anyway, would you come on up here, Jerry, so we can present you with the award.
Well, what an honor to be recognized by your own folks. That's what the honor, I think, is really about. And Bruce, I second your comments tonight. Certainly, they were very appropriate. Senator Harkin, I'm not sure that you got that right a while ago about me pulling you through the election. When you were up, you pulled me through. Let me tell you, you did. I want to thank my nominee, the persons that nominated me for this honor. Of course, Randy Bolton, thank you very much, Randy. And the current president of my home local, Lori Walker, who's sitting down here at the front. It's a real honor to be recognized by you. And thank you, the Iowa Federation of Labor, the officers, director, board of the board to the AFL-CIO Iowa for selecting me. There's probably 1,000 other labor folks that deserve this honor. And I do appreciate it very much, but I think we all need to keep in mind that even though a few are selected, so many people deserve recognition like this. They really do. I'm grateful to my home local, 444, as I said, and it was the rubber workers at one time. We merged in 1995 with the steel workers, and frankly, they saved our hind end. By doing that, we were in the midst of a major tire maker strike, and the steel workers saved us, and we were successful after that. I want to recognize tonight the steel workers, because many of us were rubber workers before, especially here in Iowa. But I want to recognize the steel workers and all the folks that have come out tonight. As Randy said, we have our district director here and the assistant district director and lots of members. I'd like for the steel workers to all stand. Thank you. You've already heard kind of what I've done in the way of representation. I represented my local for 20 years as president, and also most of that time, a lot of that time as on the Board of Supervisors in my home county for 18 years. And I served 18 years with the steelworkers as staff rep, and I've been a member now of that proud organization for 54 years, counting the rubber worker time. So, I do want to thank you, Senator Harkin, for your kind words as well. I know that you stretched it a little bit, as I said, but it was very kind of you. And I told Senator when he came in that he gave me an award back in, I think it was around 80, somewhere in the 80s probably. And although I told him I thought he had the same green tie on that he's got on tonight, I don't think he did. I think it's probably newer, but he is wearing it longer now that he's retired. He says they do get frayed on him because he's on a fixed income as a retiree, you know. But it's been great, and I really can't add much more to what has been said. It's great being retired from the staff job, although I continue in the legislature. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my family, my wife who is here tonight sitting up front. Would you take a bow, please? Randy talked about my not taking staff position when the rubber workers were trying to get me to come on board, and it was because I had two sons that were in school, and even though I wasn't home enough of the time then, just at home, it would have been tough, I think, on the wife to do that, but she did watch them all the time. And now, of course, as my clerk in the legislature, she watches me. And so tries to keep me straight up there. But it's been a pleasure, it's been an honor, and I thank you very much. Thank you, guys.
That was good. That was good. Off to the side there. He's going to want to get a picture. We're going to move over this way. We get him in there.